Destruction Allstars owes its survival to PlayStation Plus, and let's be honest, it's like finding a half-eaten slice of pizza in the fridge, surprising and oddly satisfying. This PS5 exclusive arcade racer is a delightful little romp that feels like a quick snack rather than a full-course meal, especially since it's only 28 gigabytes, smaller than your average Call of Duty update. So, if you're feeling adventurous, why not give it a whirl? If you find it's not exactly a treasure trove of content, no biggie. It's free, it's harmless, and it's got a few chuckles in store. No damage done. But seriously, who at Sony thought this was a €70 launch title? Were they daydreaming about a game with layers, modes, and depth? If it had hit the shelves at that price alongside the PS5, it would have been like a piñata at a party with no kids, just sad and empty. Luckily, the lobbies are buzzing with players now, and they're chatty. More on that later. Destruction Allstars is like a wild party where arcade, crash racing, and third-person action decided to dance together. Picture this, you're gripping your controller, feeling the thrill of the chase, even if the adaptive trigger on R2 sometimes acts like it's had one too many energy drinks. When you crash, it's like a satisfying crunch that makes you feel like a demolition expert. Your right thumbstick is your trusty sidekick, helping you boost and dodge like a pro while you're on a mission to turn enemy cars into confetti. Sure, you can't control the camera while you're zooming around, but fear not. The clever folks at Lucid have crafted a camera that's got your back, giving you a front-row seat to all the chaotic fun, even when you're spiraling through the air like a confused acrobat. When you're on foot, the game takes a nosedive faster than a clumsy penguin on ice. Each match kicks off with your character dashing into the arena, and from there, you're treated to the usual third-person movement. The right thumbstick, that's your camera control, but good luck with that. The camera can be as tricky as a cat on a hot tin roof, and the jumping feels like you're trying to leap through molasses, especially when you're attempting to scale a wall. Every character has a barge attack, but it's so wobbly that it might as well be a gentle nudge. Then there's the breaker, a super move that gives you a speed boost and a double jump, plus a special ability. But let's be real, most of these powers are about as useful as a chocolate teapot. Take Boxstop, the minimum wage warrior from a quaint little English town, who delivers parcels while sporting a cardboard box on his head. He can drop parcels that help teammates and knock down foes, but in the chaos, it's like trying to hit a piñata blindfolded. Hannah, on the other hand, gets a strength boost that turns her barges into one-hit wonders, but good luck actually landing one. You can activate some traps by running over them, but setting up a vehicle to crash into a bollard is like trying to teach a goldfish to ride a bicycle. In the end, there's not much to do on foot except scavenge for shards to fill your special ability meter and hunt for a new car, because yours is about to go kaboom. Forget about power-ups or weapons. It's all about running, jumping, and oh look, another car. Get ready to rev your engines and unleash some chaos with 4 multiplayer game modes, each designed for 16 players. These modes are so diverse, you'll want to jump in and out like a kid on a trampoline. The star of the show is Mayhem, where it's every driver for themselves in a solo deathmatch. Score points by smashing into your rivals, turning their cars into scrap metal, or trying and failing to run over those pesky pedestrians who seem to have a sixth sense for dodging. While driving is the name of the game, don't forget about those shiny shards you need to collect on foot to supercharge your meter. Trust me, you'll want to fill that meter because once it's full, you can summon your character's hero car, and some of these bad boys are like the Hulk in a parking lot, absolutely unstoppable. Some characters are flexing their muscles a bit too much. Even in the early days of this game, it's obvious that a handful of the 16 characters are strutting around like they own the place. Take Hannah's Saber and Blue Fong Shredder, for instance. Those hero vehicles can dish out one-hit knockouts like they're handing out candy. Meanwhile, some of the hero car's special moves are about as useful as a chocolate teapot. Sergeant Rescue's Smoke Cloud? Yeah, that's about as effective as trying to scare off a bear with a rubber chicken. And then there's Boxstop and his Box Mobile, which can attach a drone to any vehicle he crashes into. These drones shoot off fireworks that barely tickle the target, while other moves are like a freight train hitting you at full speed. The whole balance thing seems to be a side effect of the game's shallow pool of options. Choosing a character is basically just picking a hero cardbreaker, and each one only has one trick up its sleeve. A few more options would spice things up and add a sprinkle of strategy to the mix. You might dream of cruising around in your hero car like a superstar, but in Destruction Allstars, most of the rides are more like one-night stands. They're basically weapons on wheels, split into light, medium, and heavy classes, meant to be used until they're as useful as a chocolate teapot, then tossed aside for a shiny new model. Mastering the art of ditching your car at just the right moment and hopping into fresh spawns is the secret sauce of the game, and this back and forth is what makes the strategy tick. Now, let's be real, there's not a whole lot of strategy to chew on here. Sure, there's a smidge of timing involved when you decide to unleash your hero car, but honestly, the best move is to spawn that bad boy as fast as you can because they pack a serious punch. You might even get to spawn it more than once in a single match. So just dive in and go for it. That's the whole game in a nutshell. Just go for it. And maybe that's a good thing. Who needs a complicated strategy when you can have simple, glorious chaos? When you're not battling it out online, there's an arcade mode where you can tackle any of the 4 game modes on any of the 3 maps that look suspiciously similar, all while battling bots at various difficulty levels. There's also a practice mode for those who want to hone their skills. And let's not forget the customization options, which, to be honest, are a bit of a letdown at launch. You can unlock skins, emotes, vehicle emotes, and shouts using in-game currency earned through play or bought with real cash, but don't expect anything jaw-dropping. The skins are just different color combos for the characters and their rides, and the emotes? Well, they're just your run-of-the-mill video game emotes. Let's talk about the Challenge Series mode, which is about as exciting as watching paint dry. The game kicked off with 3 challenge series, each boasting 7 unique challenges that are scattered across various match modes. It's the closest thing to a plot we get, featuring a rivalry between 2 characters that unfolds through a few overly enthusiastic cutscenes. Here's the kicker. You get 1 set of challenges for free, but if you want to dive deeper, you'll need to whip out your wallet and pay real cash for more. Now, I get it. Destruction Allstars is technically a free game, and Sony's got to keep the lights on somehow. But when a game launches feeling as empty as a piñata after a birthday party, it feels a bit shady to lock away content that should be part of the package. Go ahead and sell all the flashy cosmetics you want, or even roll out a battle pass. Just don't hide the juicy bits of the story behind a paywall. The more I get to know these characters, the more I want to cheer for them. Too bad Destruction Allstars wants to charge me for the honor. Sony has really outdone themselves with some head-scratching choices here. The main menu is a musical delight that changes its tune based on the character you pick, which is a nice touch. But once you dive into the game, crickets. You'd think a sick beat would drop as you leap into action, but nope, just silence. The only thing to aim for is an XP grind that rewards you with cosmetics you didn't ask for. And forget about ranked play, there's no skill ladder to climb. You're just playing for the sake of playing, which might float some boats, but it's not quite my jam. Now, let's talk about the voice chat, which is the real head-scratcher. At first, I was ready to throw my controller out the window, but now I find it downright hilarious. When 16 players pile into a lobby, voice chat is automatically on along with your controller's mic. You can't mute yourself or the lobby while in-game, but you can do it outside. If you remember, I bet a lot of players don't even realize their mic is live. And get this, you can't mute individual players either. Oh, the things I've heard while playing this game. I've caught the sounds of someone munching like they're at a buffet, long, wet farts that could clear a room, kids wailing like they just lost their favorite toy, and conversations in a delightful mix of European languages. The pièce de résistance? I overheard a couple discussing car maintenance, and the cherry on top was a wife booking her husband a taxi for 3 p.m., casually dropping their home address, and a trip to the local medical center for everyone to hear. To the guy whose wife made that taxi call, I hope everything's all right. Buddy, you know what's got me hooked on Destruction Allstars? It's like peeking through the curtains of a reality show where everyone's a little too honest. What's on the menu for dinner? Did they throw a tantrum over last night's game? And seriously, that boil? Yikes! It's a mix of gross and giggles, and I can't help but eavesdrop because the game practically forces me to tune in. Destruction Allstars really knows how to strut its stuff. It's got the looks, it's shiny, and it seems to be mostly bug-free. Kudos to Lucid for pulling this off while juggling a pandemic and working in pajamas. The colors pop, it feels great in my hands, and most of the characters are pretty cool. But let's be real, it's a bit of a lightweight at launch. It's like a promising appetizer that needs a main course. I'm itching for a racing mode or a chaotic multiplayer experience, like if Mario Kart and Burnout had a wild party. Now that would be epic. To wrap it up, Destruction Allstars has a heart of gold. Just as I was putting the finishing touches on this review, I dove into a game of Gridfall, the Battle Royale mode, and found myself in the final two. I realized I was about to be shredded by Blue Fong's terrifying machine while I was stuck in my sad little box mobile. So, I jumped out and waved like a goofball. To my surprise, my opponent hopped out too. He said over voice chat, "I'll let you win if you give me an accolade after." Well, alright then. He took a leap of faith, handing me the win. As the XP rolled in, notification popped up. He gave me an accolade for being a good sport. I couldn't let him down, so I returned the favor.